What's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 7 of the Eastern Michigan Eagles Dynasty. This is Entropy, as always. And we came off a tough loss against Auburn in a game which we were outmatched for sure, but we were nonetheless in it for a decent portion of the game before everything started to fall apart. But we're getting back into MACtion, and that's how we will end the year, was with, I think we just have like 6 games against MAC schools, and then that'll be the end of this season. So next up is against Ohio, and it's a home game, so hopefully we can get back on track against them. I've mentioned before that I might get into recruiting in episodes where things actually happen. As we kind of saw at the end of the last episode, not much happened in recruiting. It kind of was just a couple house cleaning items essentially. But we were able to schedule a visit with, I'll actually pull it up just because why not. We were able to schedule a visit with that 5-star athlete that we've been trying to get. I think his name's Brian Thompson. I keep trying to not get my hopes up too much about him just because he's not a guy that I would normally expect us to be able to bring in year one. But nonetheless, we are in the lead, and we were able to schedule a visit with him. Obviously, other big time schools like, as you can see, Notre Dame, Florida, Tennessee, and Auburn's kind of out of it at this point, but those 3 schools are all vying for him as well. So getting him would single-handedly turn this program around, I believe. But even though we're leading on him, I'm still hesitant to be too confident about our odds of bringing him in. But as I've showed before, he does have 90 speed and 91 throw power with 78 throw accuracy to go with it. He's not particularly elusive, but if he can throw the ball, that doesn't matter all that much. He even is really good in coverage as well, can catch. I mean, he kind of can do it all. So if we brought him in, I mean, he could play any of 3 positions for us. And we could have some fun with it too. If we decided we wanted to keep Brian Matthews at quarterback, we could line this guy up, have him play receiver and corner for us in year 1, and he'd be an instant contributor, I'm sure. But aside from that, nothing else has really happened in recruiting. Just kind of going after the same guys, trying to bring them in. But we've gotten a decent, I think we've got 3 commits so far. And we got a guard, a safety, and a fullback, I believe. So we're starting to get guys. It's only the halfway point of the season, really, so not too much is going on yet. And it'll surely get crazier as the season progresses. But let's get to this game against Ohio. And we are back at home again, so the big decision comes: what uniforms do we wear? Could go all grays. It's a little dull looking, but we could go with it. I think we wore these before already, but I do really like them. We might end up going with those again. Or we could go with the green pants as well. Yeah, let's do that. Green top, green pants, and white helmet. And let's get on the way. It's been a fun season. It hasn't been, eventful because we haven't won very many games, but it's been fun. I didn't expect this to be easy. Taking over one of the worst schools in the game and trying to lead them to national championship. It's not going to happen year 1, obviously. It's going to be a process. We're going to have to build this team up from the ground up, really. But that is the fun of it, and that is why I wanted to go with Eastern Michigan to begin with. All right. So let's see. Their offense is not particularly explosive, it appears, 110th in points. But they're pretty high in rush, which is an issue. And they're also around the halfway mark, a little below it in passing yards. It's weird how they're 50th in yards but 110th in points. They must have a really bad red zone offense or something. And their defense is good, 22nd, giving up only 18.3 points, so that might be an issue. We got one guy visiting, another guard. I think I didn't mention it, but that is something that also happened between the Auburn game and now. He's a 3-star. We already got one guard, but it's just kind of at this point we can't have too many offensive linemen that we can try to develop. There are our top 3 players. Let's see who their top 3 players are. Their quarterback, the receiver, and a middle linebacker. All right. Any injuries? We don't have any, I know. And then, okay, so they got a middle linebacker that's out. That's not the... Okay, no, it's not their best linebacker. That'd be unfortunate. but let's get after it. Eastern Michigan Eagles taking on the Ohio Bobcats. This will be an exciting matchup, I'm sure. Coach N7 Ropey trying to get his second win for the Eastern Michigan Eagles, as we are not last in the MAC West, thanks to that win we got against Ball State. So that's always exciting. And then Ohio is on the other side, so they're actually not a team that will play every year. Here we are at Rynerson Stadium in Ypsilanti, Michigan, where the Eastern Michigan Eagles will be taking on the Ohio Bobcats in this next installment of MACtion of the season. We're 1-1 in conference play so far, so we're doing okay, not great. And we did win the coin toss, so that's always a good start.
Brown back to return.
And we are underway. Oh geez, I got laid out there on that block. We still have only given up the one kick return for a touchdown, but that's not. I'm still on edge every time the other team is returning a kick. Oh, read option. Cronin comes up, he shakes him off, but we are able to get him on the ground.
That'll bring up 2nd and 3.
We have had issues with the read option in the past, and they're already in the hurry-up offense. Blitz didn't get home, but he did throw it away, so that's a good start. I think pressure is really important because I feel like a lot of the games where we struggle is with the games where the quarterback has like 7 seconds to throw the ball. Come on, Davis, make that tackle. Yes, Eric Davis makes the stop on 3rd down, and they are going to have to punt it away. 681 yards on the year already for him. He's on pace for 1,000 yards. That's a good season. Isaac Swanson fields the kick and is on top of bodies, gets back up, and is hit again. And here comes the man of the hour, Brian Matthews, the quarterback for the Eagles, who did not have a very good game against Auburn. But as I stated in the last episode, a lot of those throws that were like interceptions were just bad decisions by me, or just trying to force the ball because we were losing. So his game wasn't as bad as his stat line made it look. I'll say that. The play action passing also worked pretty well against Auburn, so let's try and break some of that out here. Although I am running this to the wrong side of the field. Oh gosh. Well, that was a lot of pressure right away. Matthews keeps it on the read option, powers over a guy, and gets the 1st down. Nice running by Brian Matthews to help us move the chains for the first time. Against Auburn, I think John Phillips only had like 5 carries, so we're going to try and get him more involved again in this week. Cuts it back inside, and is stopped for a short gain of 3. That's kind of par for the course for Phillips at this point, I would say. Watch number 12, they're saying. 12, of course, being Brian Matthews. And they were right. Another read option. Caught from behind, and he is stopped short of the line to gain that time. 3rd and inches. I always rip on teams for running the ball, like in real life, on 3rd and short, but I feel like this is the way to go here. And Phillips does get it, thankfully. Down the field, Swanson brings it in and takes the hit, and he's injured. Gosh dang it, man. What a play by Swanson, putting his body on the line for the team, and you could see him clutching his shoulder at the end of that play. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that was a big hit, but man, you do hate to see that. I feel like that's very fitting for this team, that first big play of the game, the guy who makes the play gets hurt immediately. Yeah, he's not on the field, so he's definitely injured. Hopefully not badly. I ran right into the lineman. That was fantastic running on my part. I want to run the triple option here, but with how it went last game, I'm a little wary because I believe, and Swanson had a bruised elbow, because I believe that is how we turned the ball over. That kind of swung the game back in their direction. Oh. That pitch didn't go as planned, but it ended up working somehow. I guess that's all that matters. Re-injury risk high. Okay, now I'm actually kind of double thinking this. Let's sub in Morgan for now. I think the way it works is that Swanson will come back like later in the game, like without the added risk, I would hope. I really hate passing the ball in the red zone, but the running game has kind of been an issue here as well, so I'm not sure how exactly I want to approach this. Again, Matthews keeps, tries to follow the block, but he's met at about the 4 or the 5 yard line. He's going to get hurt eventually, and it's going to be terrible because I don't know who our backup is. Well, we definitely got to pass it here. Isaiah Hayden catches it, and he didn't get it? Are we allowed to challenge the spot? Let's look at the replay. I can't believe he didn't get it. I thought for sure. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh, yeah. He totally didn't get that. Oh, well now we have a decision to make. Do we just take the points or do we go for the touchdown? It's the 1 yard line. Let's go for it. Let's try running that play we ran on third and inches earlier. We've got the correct amount of linemen to block all their guys. They just got to hold. They didn't hold, but he gets it in. John Phillips reaches for the goal line and he breaks the plane for our first touchdown of the game. What an effort. I thought for sure we were stopped there because that guy came in pretty much untouched. But John Phillips manages to punch it in, and they're not reviewing it, so it did in fact count. And the Eagles are up 7-0 to start this game. It's not a position we've been in very much this year, having a lead. Fumble! Oh, I didn't even realize what happened until it was too late. Although there wasn't anybody to really make the play there anyway. And clipping is called. I accept.
Still first down.
I would have loved to recover that fumble, dang it. I'm still not sure what I prefer between man or zone coverage with this team. I can't quite figure that out yet. Because typically you run zone when you don't have like the, oh my gosh, there's no one here. That was one of the strangest plays I've ever seen. But as I was saying, typically you run zone when you don't have the athletes to run man, but I feel like man has worked okay for us in some instances. Stop Brandon Jones for a gain of 2 there. Good to play up front. I don't know who made the tackle because it was kind of just a mess of bodies. And Jones tried to fight for the line, didn't quite get it, and they're left with 3rd and 1 now. Oh, that was me too. I was the spy on that play, and I didn't do the right thing. I kind of got held up by a guy. That is unfortunate. And that's the end of the first quarter. The Eastern Michigan Eagles have a 7-0 lead, but Ohio is driving and trying to respond as we speak. And Zach Jude makes a nice play there to keep Jones from getting more than 4. I would have missed that tackle. That guy probably would have had a touchdown the way they were blocking up ahead of him. Their run blocking, like the computer in general, over the course of this season has been pretty outstanding. And there's no one out there for the screen pass. But Moses is there to make the stop. I was hoping maybe we would have gotten him short of the first, but he did barely get it. But still a good play by Phil Moses. Nice play by Jamie Gay, I think that was. His name flashed up for like a second. Brandon Jones made a guy miss in the backfield, but Zach Jude once again cleans up. Oh, is Jones hurt? Or is Jude just standing on him? It's hard to tell sometimes. Going 5 wide here. And there was no one there. Easy touchdown to Andrew Allen. And Ohio does answer and ties the game up at 7 on their second drive of the game. That's fine. We just got to keep scoring. Oh, got a little bit of blocking there. Was able to get out past the 20, but not much beyond it. Finally being stopped at the 24. Yeah, the pressure got to me there as well. Our offensive line continues to struggle up front, unfortunately. Ugh. I'm always terrified to go wide with Matthews just because he's not fast, but then the problem is on those plays, there's always a lineman right in my way where I want to go. Oh, wow, the running back has a strained back and is out 7 weeks. Yikes. Well, hopefully their backup's no good. Oh, you hate to see that. It wasn't a good throw. I was kind of set on throwing to Chavis there. I thought maybe he'd get a little bit. I mean, he had separation. The throw just wasn't good. McClelland is their new running back. And Eric Davis says, no, sir. Oh, I thought they were doing another read option there. Houston's able to make the stop, thankfully. Keep them from scoring a touchdown there. Wait, what? Oh my gosh. It switched me to the wrong guy, and then Cronin did literally nothing when McClelland ran at him. And he just waltzes in for a touchdown to go up 2 scores. Not go up 1 score, sorry. That is their second score. That was the closest I've ever been to blocking an extra point. And this game has gotten a little lopsided all of a sudden. Turned on its head, if you will. I was hoping after that first drive we'd really keep control, kind of like we did against Ball State. Swanson has some room up the side. He can't beat out number 87 because he's just not fast enough. That is really disappointing. I thought I had that. Man, what a turnaround that would have been. And Matthews cannot make the guy miss. And Walker with the catch. Brandon Walker. Could not remember his first name, but he gets a nice 17-yard gain there. I feel like Ohio's either blitzing a lot or my O-line is just that bad. I think they sent at least 5 on that play. That was probably the wrong guy to throw to. And Bobby White with the catch there to move the chains. Our tight ends are making plays this drive. And Phillips is met in the backfield. Swanson makes the guy miss. Oh, and he gets hit really hard again. Please get up. He just came back. I think he was okay, but I'm not sure. Oh no, he's not on the field. Did he get hurt again? Oh my gosh, could you imagine? He comes back and gets hurt immediately. Oh, he moved. Oh, but Chavis still caught it. Oh my gosh. The linebacker started moving to the right as I threw it, but he wasn't really looking for the throw, thankfully. So I was able to still get it in there. What a play by Chavis. Swanson sprained his foot. So that's 2. What was it the first time? He bruised his shoulder or something? And Phillips punches it in again for his second touchdown of the game. John Phillips is money near the goal line today. as we are hoping to maybe tie the game with this extra point. And we do. Tie ball game, minute 15 left in the half. I know we are getting the ball in the second half because I believe we definitely won the coin toss and kicked it to them to start the game. So if we can just keep them from scoring a touchdown in the last minute and 15 seconds, we'll be in a good spot. And he broke 2 tackles there on that return, but finally brought down, thankfully. Oh, I missed the tackle with Houston. That's unfortunate because the clock does stop on first downs. I forgot which guy I was controlling. Thankfully, we did stop him on still, despite that. Come on, Moses, make a play. Yes! Phil Moses with the interception. And go, 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 go. Please, please, please. Get a block, get a block, get a block, get a block. He didn't get a block. But still, Phil Moses intercepts a pass in the end zone. What a play by our #1 corner wearing the #1 jersey. That is exactly what we needed because they had every bit of momentum they possibly could have there. And naturally, I'm going to be stupid about this, and I'm going to try and get down there and get us some points of our own. But I'm going to really try and restrain myself to not force anything. Bruh. As I throw an interception because I'm a complete idiot. Thankfully, he fell over. Well, that was exactly what we didn't need to do. Oh, miscommunication there between the receiver and the quarterback. Our corners are playing well in coverage. Actually, they're doing a good job. I'm calling a lot more man to man in this game just because I don't know. I felt like I should, but the man coverage has been very impressive. And Ira Richards intercepts the pass. Nearly overran it, but he did intercept it. And I don't have any speed on this team, apparently, because no one can run away from anyone. What a play by Ira Richards. That name is really hard to say fast. We're just going to chuck a deep ball to whichever guy looks the most open before I'm about to get sacked. Slot guy. Nope. It's actually comical that I keep throwing interceptions in situations where I need to just not. But that brings us to the end of the half. We are tied at 14 with Ohio going into the half. It's been an interesting one, that's for sure. I believe, what was that, 4 interceptions in the last, I don't know, 30 seconds of game time. Yeah, we are getting the ball second half. Let's see if we can actually put a touchdown on the board here. Gets a few blocks and breaks that tackle, but cannot get past the next guy. This has been Swanson's best day kick returning for sure, by far. Like he's almost broken 2 now. Oh, he fumbled. Oh, but one of our offensive linemen picked it up, thankfully. Oh my gosh. That was what we didn't need to happen, rather. You almost knew that would happen because typically quarterbacks don't have very high carrying. But he has done well with protecting the ball so far this year.
The previous play is under review.
What are they reviewing? It doesn't really matter because I still recovered it. Well, he looked like he was down for what it's worth. Knee, ball. Yeah, I'd say so.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So I just lost those 2 yards that I gained from the fumble. Oh, 1 yard, I guess. Wow. The play barely had time to develop before their guys got in there. I just feel like this play is going to end in an interception. I don't know. Something's telling me that might be what happens here. Oh, he ran the route better than the tight end did. The tight end was open for a second. And there goes our advantage of getting the ball first to start the half. Fantastic. Oh, Phil Moses couldn't wrap up. Williamson couldn't wrap up. Stephen Nolan's just breaking all the tackles. I knew that he was going to keep it and he wouldn't steer to the right. I usered him and I was trying to get him to stay over to the right so that I could stop the quarterback, but he just kind of kept going. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What is this tackling? Like, we had him in the backfield, and instead he ends up getting a first down. I just keep running the same play because I'm determined to either get pressure and or stop the run. How did he not go down? Houston's going to be our leading tackler again. I can already feel it. I don't understand how, like, we can be this ineffective against the read option. I know they're running it every time. Again, he just breaks that tackle. I don't know how. Like, it looked like I just ran through him. Like, how does that happen? I don't get it. Then the other running back brought in, and there was nobody there. They blocked every single guy again as he just walks on in for his touchdown of the game. His first touchdown, I assume. We are back down 7 again. Normally I'd knee this down, but he's been doing a good job returning, so let's try it. Okay, well, no one blocked that guy, and Swanson's incapable of making people miss. Oh, man. What a game this has been. Very frustrating. We're still in it, though. It's not over. And I don't know how nobody gets open. There wasn't a single guy open there. Oh my gosh. I like running that read option on second down because normally we get at least 5, but that is not at all what happened there. That guy just split 2 of our blockers. Oh my gosh, is that not interference or something? I mean, he impeded his progress there. We have negative 11 yards in the second half. I believe it. Oh my gosh, that's a 300-pound man that couldn't drag him down. And he actually still never went down, he just went out of bounds. There we go, there's a play. Who was that? Houston, of course. It's always Houston. I guarantee you Houston's going to be our leading tackler again, like just like he was against Auburn, and just like he was at least 1 or 2 other times throughout this series. There we go, Jamie Gay, nice play. They've got to pass it, right? Like they've got to. Come on. Yes. Richards is able to keep them short of the line to gain. Pretty sure they're still in field goal range. Yeah, they're definitely in field goal range, but nonetheless, good play by Richards. And he drills it. Oh, gets the outside. No one can hold his block. I don't know who that was, but man. I just wish Swanson was a little bit faster. I think he's got like 91 speed, which is good, but like that top tier of speed is just something else. Matthews stays on his feet. There's a nice rush. That's the Brian Matthews we know and love. 14-yard gain off the read option. Yeah, 10 rushes for 31 yards is a little low for him. Typically he rips off 1 or 2 long ones, but just hasn't quite happened. Brandon Walker goes out of bounds. Nice 8-yard gain for him. Oh, apparently X isn't the slide button like it is in Madden. I don't know what the slide button is, but that's what I was trying to do there since he fumbled earlier. There we go. Now he's got some room to the outside. Gets tripped up because he's like 86 speed or something like that, but nonetheless, a nice run by John Phillips there. His first time really with any running room in this whole game. That was a risky throw. Yeah, that was kind of dumb, actually. Dang it. I thought Randall had separation. I thought the safety was staying over the left side, but did not quite work out that way at all. That's really unfortunate. We actually started to get some momentum there, and I just blew it. Well, we know they're probably going to run a read option here at least. Okay. Okay. Yeah, of course. No, that makes sense. That probably just about does it, unfortunately. Interception followed by a 97-yard halfback inside zone run. Jeez, oh Pete. That was the fastest snap ever. I don't even think they were set. End of the third quarter, and we have been shut out in the second half thus far. They've scored 17 unanswered on us. Terrible idea there to try to force that throw to Randall. I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Swanson returns this for a touchdown? He had it for a second there, then he tripped. When I was watching that pattern, my thought was that when my guy broke, the cornerback wasn't going to be like able to move at the same instant as my receiver. But that's actually exactly what happened. There we go, Trevor Morgan. Of course, 3rd and inches, well, because why not? I was gonna say that should have been easy. There were not enough defensive linemen on the line to stop that. Chavis drops the ball again. He's been so dependable. And then last week against Auburn, he had, I think, 2 drops just by himself. And he drops another one here today. I don't know what's happening to him. I missed the dependable Chavis that was our best receiver through the first few weeks. That's open. Kaika Randall. Didn't have the speed to quite split the defense like I would have liked, but nonetheless, a very nice 15-yard reception for Kaika Randall, who I think is probably my favorite name on the team. Swanson on the drag. That might have been loud, but that was a risky pass that I threw. It's never smart to throw crossbody, but he looked open enough, and I felt like I could fit it in there. Thankfully, I was right. I think this drive can go under the category of too little, too late if we're able to punch this in. I actually like Randall out of the slot a lot. He seems to have a little more short area quickness than the rest of the receivers on this team. I'm just going to run it. Good run by Matthews. They might think we're still throwing here. but we are not. Yep, Phillips is able to punch it in to cap off the too little too late drive. We're just going to have to go for onside kicks and, well, I'm not, well, hang on. Down by 11. Yeah, I'm just going to kick the extra point. It's not worth it to try and go for 2 here. I don't know if we technically have to go for the onside here. Actually, yeah, we might not. Well, we'd have to stop them, and the way our defense has been playing, that probably isn't going to happen. But if we go for the we're going to have to go for another onside anyway. I'm just going to kick it normal. Maybe we'll get lucky, get a stop here. But I don't count on it. I'm just daring them to throw. I'm sending 6 every time. Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. I don't understand how things like this continue to happen against us. Just plays like that. That had no business being a touchdown.
Personal foul. Flipping. Offense.
Ha ha ha! It still doesn't mean much, but I will gladly take that. Thank you very much. Get out of bounds. Thank you. The thing is, I don't know what to expect them to do here. Like, will they run the ball again? Or just to try and get more time off the clock? Or are they going to try to, like... I just realized the clock didn't stop there. Stop them. Thank you. I don't know who made the tackle there because I was too busy trying to call a timeout, but that was a very nice play there. We are getting the ball back, but we're going to have to score so unbelievably fast and then try to get an onside kick in order for this game to actually swing in our favor. But crazier things have happened in real life and in video games, so who knows? Oh, that wasn't what I was trying to do. He just turned right into the coverage. Oh my gosh. Yes. Nice pass. Idiot. He finally broke free, and I'm like, awesome. He's going towards the sideline. He's just got to catch it and get out of bounds. We'll get a couple yards here. And the pass was so bad he couldn't even try for it. Oh my gosh. He had it for a second. Isn't that like targeting or something? Or did targeting not exist when this game was made? It might not have. Bobby White down the seam. Can you believe it? And we're going to call a timeout. We could have run no huddle theoretically, but I'm just trying to save as much time as possible. Oh, Ikaika. Diving catch by Kaika Randall there. I didn't say anything because I'm just so focused on trying to, like, actually make something happen here. Ah, gosh. The guy on the right, the receiver on the right, was getting so badly held up by whoever the defender was there that he couldn't get off. And Brian Matthews is going to try and run it himself, and he does! Brian Matthews from 11 yards out runs it in. And this game is all of a sudden, hopefully, if I get this, going to be a 3-point game. But we are going to need something miraculous to happen on an onside kick to have a chance. And we still have a timeout in case that does happen. Oh. I should probably point out I have literally never in my life gotten an onside kick before in this game. And that does not change here. I was hoping for a bounce or something, but alas, it was not to be. Maybe they'll fumble the ball. Drop the snap or something. I'm going to call a timeout because I'm spiteful, but ultimately that is going to conclude it once they, I assume, kneel it a couple times. Ooh, I tried the bust through line with Cronin there. Can you imagine if I somehow managed to drill their quarterback before he could kneel and he like fumbled or something? That would be incredible. Wait, they're actually calling a play here? What is wrong with them? It hit the way he got hit, I thought for sure he fumbled that. But somehow he didn't. I thought they were just going to keep kneeling the ball down. Oh well, that does it. Eastern Michigan drops another one, this time to Ohio. Disappointing, because I feel like if I didn't play so bad from the quarterback spot, we could have really had a chance. We would have actually been in it more than like we were. The final score was only a 3-point difference, but it wasn't a game that we were really in until 50-something seconds left, and we needed an onside kick to still have a chance. So disappointing that we couldn't pull that one out, especially with some of the great plays like that one by Phil Moses to save a touchdown near the end of the first half. But yeah, disappointing. As always, let's take a look at the stats for this game. Brian Matthews, another poor performance from him throwing the ball. 14 for 28 for 200 yards, no touchdowns, and 4 picks. And he took 2 sacks, it would appear. Did my joystick break? My joystick won't stop scrolling up. I'm going to have to unplug my remote and try to fix that myself. What the crap? Okay, rather than trying to play a stupid timing game with myself, I'm just going to go back to the menu and we'll do it from there. Okay. And it is working now. All right, so Brian Matthews, again, 14 for 28, 200 yards, 4 picks, and took 2 sacks. Not a good day from him. It won't let me sort by yards like I like to, but Brian Matthews had 15 rushes for 61 yards and 1 touchdown. That touchdown, of course, being the one that brought it within 3 at the end of the game. John Phillips had 8 rushes, 24 yards, 3 touchdowns for him. All of those, I'm pretty sure, were within like the 3-yard line. So he was good in the red zone. And then Mario Landry didn't get much action just because we didn't run the triple option much. Again, that's kind of like the only play he gets a lot of looks at. Geica Randall was our leading receiver yardage-wise, 3 for 56. Swanson not far behind, 4 for 51 for him. And he even was missing time due to 2 separate injuries that he took over the course of the game. Brandon Walker had 2 for 25. Bobby White had 2 for 38. And then Morgan had 1, Chavis had 1, and Isaiah Hayden had 1 as well. No touchdowns. Obviously, all touchdowns came on the ground. And then Chavis and Morgan each had a drop. Chavis, as we remember, was that one where he was open and he just didn't catch it. And then Morgan, that if they're counting it as a drop on the one where he almost died, I can't blame him too much for that. Even though it would have been nice to see him bring that in, it didn't end up mattering that much. So Brandon Walker, our tight end, gave up a sack, and then is that Greg Harrison, the right tackle? I think gave up a sack. He gave up a sack against Auburn too. He's been struggling lately. Eric Davis was actually our leading tackler with Houston in second. So there you go. Davis had a nice game. Zach Jude even had a good game himself. Tackles for loss. It doesn't. Oh wow, what did I just do? I do wish it would let me sort by the different categories because it's going to be tough to go through and find all the things. Jamie Gay had a tackle for loss. That was it. I definitely don't think we had any sacks. Yeah, no, doesn't look like it. And of course, Phil Moses had a pick. Ira Richards had a pick. I think those were the only 2, but good Good for them to show up at a good time. I'm having a hard time stringing my words together. But the Phil Moses pick especially was timely because they had all the momentum on their side and they were about to go in and get themselves a touchdown right at the end of the half. But Moses fortunately didn't let it happen. We didn't kick any field goals, but Waller made all the extra points. Berg punted twice, so I guess that's not too bad. But again, with the 4 interceptions, that's how a lot of our drives ended. Swanson had a nice day returning, 187 yards. Should have had at least one touchdown the way some of those were out, but he just wasn't quite fast enough. And then Swanson had 2 punt returns as well for 18 yards. Player of the game. Man, if you think about it in terms of like the big plays, Matthews' touchdown run towards the end of the game was probably one of the most important plays because naturally it got us to a point where all we needed was an onside kick, and he did have a nice drive throwing the ball to get us down into the red zone to begin with. But I'm also inclined to give it to Phil Moses just for that play he made at the end of the half. I think I will say Phil Moses is our player of the week just for that play, which was one of the most exciting plays of the game for sure. All right, as always, I will advance the week since it's later in the season and recruiting stuff does in fact happen. As we go ahead to take on the Northern Illinois Huskies on the road next week. I'm not looking forward to that one, just because I know their quarterback is Jordan Lynch, as I mentioned in the first episode, I believe. So he is a baller. It's just a matter of if we'll be able to stop him. And if they have a good running back, that's even worse, because we can't stop the run. Oh, I see one commitment there. So Jesse Walker was another athlete, I think. I wasn't putting any points into him because I didn't feel like we had a chance. Flowers already locked. I think we knew about C. Flowers locking us out. Powell committed to Ohio State. I don't think I was going for him at all. We're still in a couple recruiting battles. There's another center in addition to Kevin Hughes that I had on my board that is ready to visit. But we got a commitment from defensive tackle Jeremiah Wright. That's good news for sure. I think we already... No, wait, we didn't have a defensive tackle commit before this, but there were kind of 2 defensive tackles that I was putting points towards because I wasn't sure which one we stood a better chance with, but Jeremiah Wright, I guess, decided to commit right away. And then I did have and then that other guard that visited our school, we already knew about that prior to the game. Doesn't look like our coach leveled up or anything like that, but it's always exciting to get a commitment for sure. That's going to do it for this week. Northern Illinois is 6-1. Fantastic. Thanks so much for joining me. As always, I appreciate y'all joining in, watching these videos that I enjoy making and putting together, even though the games haven't quite gone our way this season. But it's always next season to look forward to, I guess. And obviously with recruiting still going on, we have a lot of things to look forward to there. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Later, y'all.